Parsha Shkalim comes to us every year, either with the reading of Parshas Mishpatim, or in a Shana Muberes, it comes later, and every single year, Shovavim ends with Parsha Shkalim. In other words, in a Shana Pshuta like this year, so Shovavim ends, Parshas Mishpatim, Kisisa, we read in the morning Parsha Shkalim, and that is the conclusion of Shovavim. In a Shana Muberes, so B'derech Klal, Parshas Tetzaveh would be the parsha that we would read in the morning. Nonetheless, in the afternoon, we read by Mincha Kisisa. So again, we read the parsha of Shkalim, not as Parsha Shkalim, but as the Mincha reading, but nonetheless, Parsha Shkalim, and the Mefarshim say that since it says over there, L'chaper al nafsho yiseichem, it's a kapora for our nefesh. And Shovavim is the time that we look to atone for very, very serious sins. And we can only hope that HaKadosh Baruch Hu in His mercy and His good grace would forgive us for things that are, the Zohar HaKadosh says, is kim'at unforgivable. So we need that posuk of l'chaper al nafshay seichem, either being read in Parsha Shkalim or in Kisisa when we read the Parsha Shkalim in the afternoon and Parshas Tetzaveh. That signals that we have been atoned for, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has forgiven us. So this needs a little bit of depth to understand what is this all about. That Parsha Shkalim, with Parsha Shkalim comes the end of Shovavim. Why do the two come together simultaneously? There's a very interesting Yerushalmi that discusses what's the din of a kohen. Does a kohen have to bring matzis hashekel? Machlekes Tanoim, and one of the Tanoim say that the kohen does indeed have to bring matzis hashekel. Kol ha'oiver al ha'pekudim. Since it says in Parsha Shkalim, Kol ha'oiver al ha'pekudim, so we learn Kol the over yam. Whoever went through the Yam Suf has to bring a matzis hashekel. So the question arises, obviously, like, what does the Yam Suf, what in the world does the Yam Suf have to do with the matzis hashekel? So we need for a moment to discuss what was the matzis hashekel. What's the matzis hashekel all about? So the Gemara says, Leka di yoda lishna bisho kahaman. There was no one that knew how to speak Lashon Hara like Haman. Haman came along and he spoke about the Jewish people and he said, Yeshna yam echod, there is a nation, mefuzah mefayed ben amim, that is spread out amongst all the nations, in all the medinas of Achashverosh, and they're just different. But there was something to be said about the fact that they are mefuzah and mefayed. Haman understood that the reason that he will be able to overcome the Jewish people, the key to victory lies in the fact that they are mefuzorim u'mefayrodim, that they are spread out. The matzis hashekel, every Jew had to bring a matzis hashekel. With that matzis hashekel, the Jewish people brought it to the Beis HaMikdash, and the Gizbar would go by korbanos, and with those korbanos he would bring the korban. Jewish people would bring the korban tamid, they would bring the musafim, all the korbanos that represent the din tzibur of Klal Yisrael. The Klal Yisrael are all one. On the contrary, that we're not mefuzorim, we're not mefayodim, we really come together. And that's why the Gemara says, Omer Reish Lakish, Goliv Yodu Levnei Misha Misha Omer V'Haya Ha'olam. It's Goliv Yodu in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu She'osid Haman, that Haman is going to come along and he's going to be Shekel Shkalim to destroy the Jewish people. He's going to come and try to buy the Jewish people V'Aseres Alofim Kikar Kesef, as the Pasuk says. So that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu came along and he said that the Jewish people's Shkalim are going to be before the Shkalim of Haman. Already we bring our Shkalim on the first day of Adar. So here in the Shkalim, in the Mechtes HaShekel, lies the antithesis of what Haman was trying to base his recipe for success. He thought that he would be able to destroy the Jewish people because they were mefuzorim, they were mefayodim. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the mitzvah of Mechtes HaShekel to bring us together as a tzibur. The Jewish people become one. And as being one, then there's no way, once we're one, once we're unified the way we need to be, Jewish people, so then there's no way that Haman is going to be able to overcome the Jewish people. By the Yam Suf, the Jewish people at the Yam Suf, was the first time that the Jewish people came as a unified ummah. We never find before that it calls the Jewish people Yisrael. Even if you look through Parshas Shmois, Va'eiro, Boy, it says always B'nai Yisrael, the children of Israel. Children, a bunch of them, children of Israel. By the Yam Suf, Vayar Yisrael es Mitzrayim. We just say the word Yisrael, which we know, Agav is Rosh Tevis, Yesh Shishim Ribu Oisis LaTorah. There were 600,000 Jews, and it becomes one. They became one. The Jewish people became one at Yam Suf. The Maharal talks about this in great length, but I don't want to take the time now. The Jewish people became a tzibur by Yam Suf. So Memele, call ha'oiva lapkudim, anybody that went through the Yam Suf, so he's shy up to the din tzibur of Klal Yisrael, he has to bring a Mechtes HaShekel. This is the limud that even a kohen has to bring a Mechtes HaShekel because he's shy up to this din tzibur. There's no din tzibur without a kohen. So let's get back to the original question. When we talk about Shovavim, what are we talking about? We're talking about a chet that, again, this also needs another opportunity to discuss, Rachmana litzlan, why this chet is so terrible, and how we can, in the best way possible in our time, atone for this chet. But without getting into details, one thing is clear, that the chet of the oisoi chet, this chet, is a chet of taking koiches, strength, that's supposed to be focused and together, and to take it and to spread it out for nothing, for nothingness. So the kapara comes in taking the koyach, all this strength, and focusing it properly, just like Haman understood that the demise of the Jewish people lies in the fact that they're spread out, so too the koyches ha'odam, in everybody's personal koyach, he has to take all his strength, the strength of life that lies in every human being, and to focus it in the proper way. If that's spread out for nothingness, then that brings about chas v'shalom a person's demise. If it's focused for mitzvahs, to bring life to the next generation, so then there's no end to what we can accomplish. So Memele, it's fascinating that the parsha of Mechtes HaShekel, that's what concludes Shovavim. Shovavim ends with the mitzvah Mechtes HaShekel. Because Mechtes HaShekel teaches us that we have to take our koyach and chas v'sholem not be mefuzorim or mefayodim, not to be spread out wildly, haphazardly, rather to be focused, just like the Matzah HaShekel makes the Din Tzibur of Klal Yisrael. We and our Shovavim committed to use the gifts that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us to focus them in the proper direction to bring life to the next generation.